So back in January, I saw that CinemaSinsSins made a Sins video of my Toy Story 2 video, and after I saw it, I thought he left good feedback, and I always want to know how I can do better with my videos. And he suggested that I make a Sins video of the video, and at first I was unsure if I should do that, hence that poll I posted. And after getting yes votes, the video is now here. And also, I'd like to say that this video is just for fun, and not a way of showing that I'm not accepting feedback on my work, or I have a dislike, and neither of those apply to me. With all that said, enjoy the video, guys.
A little while back, I sent Everything Wrong with Toy Story 2 by CinemaSins, and on that video, I received a comment from the channel Luke Doherty, who also makes CinemaSins response videos, mentioning that he had also done this movie.
I know I said this to you in my comment that you pinned on your video, but Doherty is how my last name is pronounced.
Somehow this hasn't happened before now.
I can see why, considering that Andy takes good care of his toys.
I'm not sure if launching a remote-controlled car at one of your toys counts as taking good care of it.
Okay, I admittedly could have worded that sin differently, but Andy still doesn't want to seriously hurt his toys and cares deeply about them.
Oh, I feel like Andy continued his love of Woody simply because the first movie demanded a happy ending. This kid would have moved on from Woody 2 weeks after they moved into the new house, if that.
See this sin from the Toy Story 3 video.
Wait, so you did Toy Story 3 before doing Toy Story 2? Why? Pay no attention to the fact that I did the Ice Age movies completely out of order and haven't even done the first or fifth ones yet.
I did Toy Story 3 before Toy Story 2 because for the latter, it was the most voted for one for me to do in my request period from July to December 2023. And with Toy Story 3, when I was doing videos I wanted to do before that request period, that movie got the most votes for one to include with others. Though me doing franchises out of order has been something I've done before, like with the Shrek films. Though there are some I did in order, such as Cars, Jumanji, and Trolls.
Now, what if this happened while Andy was in the room?
Aside from the fact that that didn't happen, that likely wouldn't actually happen since the toys always freeze whenever humans are present.
You are aware that the toys are not just perpetually frozen whenever humans are around, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to scare Sid in the first movie.
Yes, I am aware that the toys aren't just frozen, and while I could have said go limp instead of freeze, I think both terms work in that context.
Okay, boy, to the yard sale! Yeah!
What? That dog understands English? Or you already taught it the command for to the yard sale? I mean, I can suspend my disbelief with the best of them, but you're stretching it here, man.
Well, why don't you just suspend your disbelief altogether and accept that this is a fictional movie?
Come on, dude. Do you really think Jeremy is capable of suspension of disbelief? If he was, then none of our channels would exist.
True, and to answer your question, I know that he doesn't do it, though to me, suspension of disbelief is required to enjoy a fictional movie. And funnily enough, this comment on my Toy Story 2 video is another good way to answer your question.
I just noticed that Luke does not put periods at the end of his captions, which is grammatically incorrect.
That's true, but I'm imitating the Birdman style my own way, and I don't see him put periods at the ends of his captions either.
You killed my father!
No, Buzz. I am your father.
No!
Parody note.
Sinning this scene, that's worth these many sins.
Well, because of the way your videos are edited, we have no idea how many sins you added until you speak next, at which point we have to figure it out for ourselves, so +1 sin for making me do math.
To be fair though, other CinemaSins sinners that always have their sin counts visible tend to not specify a certain number of sins they'll be giving.
Strangers from the outside.
I didn't realize until rewatching this how much lip service this movie pays to the first one.
Says the guy who repeatedly sins movies for logos and narration.
Yeah, this is a pretty massive pot call for the guy with a lot of quote-unquote inside jokes that are literally just the exact same word or phrase being repeated over and over.
It's not a Pixar movie unless there's a giant fat
You mistakenly added a sin there instead of removing one.
toy horse with no real hooves will catch up to this gas-powered vehicle. Wow, that toy horse was running at the same speed as an about-to-take-off jumbo jet. I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
And these are two more instances of Jeremy seeing this movie for being unrealistic, even though he knows that this isn't our reality.
You can't just brush off any criticism of any slightly fantastical movie by saying, well, it's meant to be unrealistic. Sure, there is some suspension of disbelief required to enjoy a movie about talking toys, but when something happens that is as genuinely fucking absurd as a toy horse managing to keep up with the speed of a plane about to take off, it is perfectly valid to point that out.
But it's still not intended to be realistic, and fantasy stuff is one of the reasons why I geek out a lot on movies that are animated. And here's the end result, everybody. This in total is 344, and the sentence will be put into storage. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a nice day.
Dude, at least put borders over your text. This combination of colors over the image feels like you are almost deliberately trying to make it hard to read.
Okay, I admittedly could have made the text darker, but even though you told me you know this, I was not intentionally making it hard to read. Though, while I have another thing to say before closing out the video, I'll first say one other thing, which is that I think my Cars 3 sentencing image could have been improved more, though the video itself is one of my favorite videos. But what I mainly want to say here is that in vice versa, I think your choice of brown text over Woody's hat and Andy's bed is a little bit odd here. And the CinemaSinsSins total we have here is 11, and the sentence will be feedback helps. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a nice day.